everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Today it's shaping up to be a really hot day, so I'm trying to record this nice and early so I don't get too hot. Right, so let's start our class. So let's begin by finding a comfortable foot position. So we're just going to turn the toes out, slide the heels away, and just feel our feet in contact with the mat. And let's start by thinking about our heads today. So we're just going to imagine that we've got a helium balloon attached to the top of our heads, and that's just gently tugging our heads up towards the ceiling, making our neck feel nice and long. And then we're going to think about our shoulders, and we want to feel that our shoulders are nice and settled, our shoulder blades just melting down our rib cages. The more we have our shoulders in that relaxed position and our neck nice and long, the easier and more free our neck will be. So we're just going to try a little something now. I want you to just, first of all, shrug your shoulders up towards the ceiling. And now try turning your head a few times in each direction. And just feel perhaps how tight it feels at the end of those movements. I'm going to come back to the middle and just circle your shoulders around. Feel those shoulder blades moving around your rib cage. And then on the next one we're going to circle them round and down, so we feel those shoulder blades just melting down our backs towards the waistband of our trousers, and then that helium balloon gently tugging our head up towards the ceiling. And let's just try some simple head turns again to either side, and just get the feel of how much easier it is to move our necks with our head and shoulders in that position. And then we're just going to try a little tilt as well to either side. Just feeling that nice stretch along the side of our necks, and making sure that our ears are going straight down towards the shoulder and our shoulders aren't coming up to meet our ears. Once more to each side, and come to rest back in the middle again. We want to think about our rib cage again. We want the ribs to stay nice and soft. So if you put your hands on the fronts of your ribs now, keeping those shoulders down, we'll just take a few deep breaths. Feeling how your rib cage expands out to the sides and your fingers get drawn apart from each other and they're not lifting up towards the ceiling. Good. One more nice breath. Good. Let those arms come and hang down by your side, and we'll think about our middle now. So if you put your hands on your hips, find those bony points on the fronts of your shoulders, of your hips, and let's imagine that our pelvis is like a bucket that's brimming full of water. First of all, we want to try and tip the water out of the front of the bucket. So we're sticking our tailbones up towards the ceiling, and then tuck your bottom underneath you, so tucking your tailbone under. So feeling like we're tipping the water out of the front of our buckets as we tip forwards, and out of the back of the bucket as we tip backwards. And then we're going to try and come to rest somewhere halfway between those two extremes. And then imagining that we've got a big wide belt around our hips, we're going to think about just centering and engaging those tummy muscles. So if we imagine that that wide belt has got 10 notches in, we only want to pull that belt to the 3rd or 2nd notch. We're not squeezing it up to the 10th notch. So just feeling how your tummy muscles are going to pull in just underneath your belly button, as though you're trying to get your 2 hip bones to meet together. And just holding that there now, just try a nice breath in and breathe out. Good, and one more. And out. Good. We'll have a little bit of a think about our feet as well. So we're going to feel our bodies just gently sway forwards now, so we feel the weight falling onto the front of the foot, and then sway backwards so it's coming onto the heel. So just gently swaying forwards and backwards so that we feel the weight shifting from the heel to the front of the foot. Keeping the body nice and straight. No bending at the waist. So we're really starting to feel how our feet are connected to the floor, keeping those toes on the floor as we move. We'll take it forwards one more time and then come back to the middle, and then just imagine that you've got a little blue brick underneath the arch of your foot. You don't want to squash it whilst you're doing our exercises. So we're now going to just take a bit of a wider stance and come more into our plie position. So you're wanting the feet turned outwards. And we're just going to come into a little plie squat and come back up. So your knees are going to be travelling directly over your feet. So you're coming open nice and wide. Then we're going to bring our arms up in front of us as we come up. Still thinking about keeping the shoulders nice and soft, so those shoulder blades shouldn't be coming up and down as our arms are coming up and down. We'll do 2 more with our arms. Good. And on the next one, just coming down, we're going to slide our weight over towards the right, your left, and we're just going to then try and tuck the toes. Pop your foot down, slide back across to the middle. It's good. So we're going to take it over to the right now, feeling that left leg extend out. We're going to try and tap the toes. Good. Come back to the middle. We're going to try and keep down into this squat all the while. If you're getting tired and feel you need to straighten up in the middle, that's fine. Just give your legs a little bit of a break by standing up straight. So we come down, across, trying to keep the waistband of your trousers nice and level. We're going to do 3 little taps. 1, 2, 3. Down, slide those hips into the middle and across to the right again. And with 3 little taps. 1, 2, 3, down. Good. So this is nice for your balance. And good. Oops, for that glute strength on that side. Good. Take it over. 1, 2, 3. Pop your foot down into the middle. We're going to go once more to each side, taking it across. And 1, 2, 3. Back to the middle. And across to the other side. 1, 2, 3. And back in. And just straighten up your legs for a minute. Good. So again, we're going to come down into that plie squat. So we're really getting those thigh muscles and those glutes working today. Again, we're going to slide off to the left. This time we're going to do our plie stretch. We're going to slide the left arm up the body and lean over. So we're getting a nice long stretch up that side. Circle the arm round. Come back to the middle. Over to the right. Sliding that arm up and leaning over. Circle the arm round, coming back to the middle. So we're leaning over, sliding the arm up. The rib cage is leaning over towards the ceiling and coming back to the middle. Good. So really getting the upper body nice and stretched and warmed up, as well as getting those glutes and quads working. Again, if you're getting tired staying down in that plie, just have a little stand up as we come through the middle there. That's good. Okay, so on the next one, I'm going to combine those two little exercises to get a little bit of a flow going. So we're going to come over to the left. We're going to tap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do a nice stretch over. Circle round. Good. Coming across to the right. We're going to tap, tap, tap. Stretch over. Good. Let's keep that up. Over and across. We're going to tap, tap, tap. Reach up and stretch. Circle round. Good. Tap, tap, tap. Stretch it over. Good. Doing really well. So we're going one more to each side. We're going to tap, tap, tap. Stretch up and over. Good. Over to the right one more time. Oops. Tap, tap, tap. Stretching up. Taking it over. Good, well done. Come back to the middle, straighten those legs, and just give them a little bit of a shake. Bring them back into the middle now, so that they're more directly underneath your hips. So if you want to just try and find that comfortable position again, just try again, turning the toes out, sliding your heels out. So we're going to work into our mermaid stretch again. And this time from our straight position, we're going to reach the left arm up and just gently bend the knees a little as we lean over to the right and we circle round and down. So right arm up, bend the knees a little as we tilt the rib cage and circle round. That's good. So reaching up, bend the knees a little. So remember, it's your rib cage that's doing the moving and not your arm waving. Your hand is staying directly above your shoulder as you do it. Good. So on this next one, we're going to come over, but then we're going to circle around with the whole body and then come back up again. Take the arm down. So we're reaching up with the left. Leaning over, circle the whole body round this time, knees that little bit bent as we come round and back up. Good. So sliding that arm up, bending the knees as we come over, circling round, making big circles with our body as we come up. That's great. So really warming up the upper body now. Once more to this side. Lovely, good. So we're going to try and be a little bit clever now and combine both arms together. So we're going to lift up the left arm. We're going to circle around in front, but then we're going to change to the right arm as we circle round and through. So hopefully you should now have your right arm up in the air. Good. So we're going to go with the right arm, going to lean over, circling round, changing the arms as we flow through and up. So now we've got the left arm up. That's good. So one more time, coming up with the left. We're going to lean over, circling it round, swapping arms as we come on through and down. And last one. Up and over, swapping arms as we swing through and come back up. Well done. That's good. Okay. So let's just come into our roll down now. So start off thinking about your head. We're taking the chin down towards the chest, curling through the upper body, rolling in through the waist, and then taking it right the way down, getting our hands as close to our feet as we can, and then rolling back up again through the upper body, through the upper back, and lifting up through your head. That's good. So chin down to the chest. We're taking it through the rib cage, through the waist, tilting through the pelvis, bending at the waist, and just seeing if we're getting any closer to our feet. And come back up again, one vertebra at a time, just stacking back up on top. So a little breath in, and then we're breathing out as we go all the way down. Breathing out, take a breath in to hold, and this time we're going to reach up with our left arm like an arm opening and come back down. And then we're going to reach up with our right arm and come back down and roll back on up. Stacking up one vertebra at a time. That's good. So a little breath in to prepare and breathing out as we go all the way down. Breathe in to hold, and we're breathing out as we lift up with the left arm, a little arm opening, and again breathing out and back down, and taking it all the way back up again. Good, so let's go one more time, taking it all the way down, breathing out as we bend down one vertebra at a time, breathing in to hold that stretch, and then breathe out as we open, and breathe out as we open. Good. Then we're just going to put our hands down onto the mat, come and lie down. We're going to start off by lying on our side, so you might want to grab your little head block, and we're going to come into our clam position. So you want to pop your head block between your arm and your head. We want the knees bent so that your feet, your hips and your upper body are all in a nice straight line. And then if you've perhaps sunk at the waist a little bit here, we want to make sure these hips are nicely stacked up on top of each other. So we're going to just tilt those hip bones towards our feet. Imagine that we're just trying to be able to slide a little scarf or something underneath our waist there. We're going to try and keep that position as we work through our clam. So we're just going to start by squeezing that top knee up towards the ceiling and taking it back down. So breathing out and back in as you come back down. That's good. Breathing out and back in. It's just trying to focus on keeping those hips nicely stacked up on top of each other. We don't want to be rolling backwards as we lift that knee up. Just starting to wake up our glutes a little bit more now. Going to do one more. Good. And on the next one, we're going to take it up and hold. Again, thinking about keeping these hips stacked. Now we're going to extend the top leg out and bring it back. I'm going to do a few up here in this position. Try not to let that knee drop down. You start to feel those glutes getting really tired. Taking it out and in. So we're breathing out and in. Breathing out. Good. Just keep thinking about these shoulders as well. Don't let them start to hunch up towards your ears. Keeping them nice and soft and just keeping that engagement with those tummy muscles. Good. Let's go with 2 more taps. 1. Good. And 2. and let that leg come back down. Just give that muscle a little bit of a rub, or just bring it in front of you to give it a stretch if it's feeling really achy. That's good. Okay, so keeping your knees together, this time we're just going to slide the knees backwards. So we're now in more of a straight line and the knees are just folded behind us because we're going to come into our side kick. So just making sure that your body is in a nice straight line. We're just going to gently centre ourselves in this position to hold. So just gently pulling those tummy muscles away from the floor. We're going to hover the top leg up and just bring it back down for a moment. Good. So hovering it up, bring it back down. Good. So we're just getting the feel of lifting the legs straight off. Because once we're in this position, we want the knee and the foot to be in a straight line as though they're resting on a tabletop. So now we're taking it up, and then this time we're going to just take that knee forwards and come back and pop it down. Good. So a little breath in, we're going to breathe out and back in as we bring it back. Good. So lift, taking it forward, sliding that leg along the tabletop. Your foot and your knee want to be in this nice straight line. We don't want to see your foot being higher than your knee. Keep breathing. Keep that neck nice and long. That's good. And only take your knee as far as you can without overbalancing. So if you're feeling like you're falling forwards, just take it slightly less far so that you're in control and your tummy muscles and your core are holding that position for you. Good. Last one. Good. Just let that leg relax for a minute. Give that muscle a little bit of a rub. Stretch your leg out. So just make sure that you're still in that nice lengthened position. Good. So now again we're going to come up into our side kick, still sticking with our level one, but when we get to here we're going to stretch the leg out and then we're going to push that heel backwards with a nice straight knee. Good. And then folding that leg into our start position, taking it forwards. You can keep one hand in front of you if you want to for balance as you stretch that leg out with your toes pointed, and then pull your foot up towards you as you push back with your heel. Good. Coming back to that hovering above the other leg position. Trying to keep that length in the waist. We're taking it up, stretching the leg out, toes pointed, and then pressing back with the heel. Good. So we're now almost doing cycling sort of an action. We can make it nice and smooth and flowing now. Press back, bringing it up, stretch out and press back. That's good. So let's see if we can do 3 more circles. Good. Keep those hips stacked up on top of each other. Push back. Feel those buttock muscles working as you squeeze backwards. Stretch out and press back. Good. Come back to our start position and let that knee drop. Well done, that's good. Give that leg a bit of a rub. Brilliant. Good. Okay, so let's roll on to our backs now. So again, you'll want to have your head on the block. Okay. Let's just think about our position for a moment so that we are in our good Pilates rest position. So we want the knees and the feet together for a moment. turn the toes out, slide the heels away. So now that we've got that little gap between our knees, let's think about our pelvis. We want to come into that nice neutral sort of a position. So we're going to start by flattening our backs onto the floor, tilting those hip bones towards our lower ribs, and then we're going to push those hip bones away from the lower ribs without the rib cage lifting up off the floor, and then tilt back again. And stretch away, and then just come back to rest somewhere about halfway between those two extremes of movement. We're going to just use our tummy muscles now to centre ourselves. So gently pulling in on those tummy muscles, just feeling a little bit of tightening underneath your belly button. We're going to get that to hold our position. I want you to feel your shoulder blades melting in the mat and your neck nice and long. And we're just going to come up into our scissors level 1 to begin with. So that leg is floating off the floor and then tapping back down. We're going to stick with the right leg. So breathing out and breathing in as we tap down. Breathing out and breathing in. Let's do 2 more on the right. That's good. Make sure you haven't lost that centered position, and let's go with the left. A little tap down, remembering you're trying to keep that same angle at your knee as it goes up and then down. Good. Well, let's do the last one now. So we're going to tap down, breathing out and back in. Good. So we're going to come into our scissors level 2 this time, which means having both feet off the mat. So we're going to bring the right leg up, and then we're just going to gently tighten a bit more with those tummy muscles so that we can lift the second foot off the floor. Now if you're really struggling with keeping that position there, you can put a small flat cushion or your head block underneath your hips so that it can help you stay in that position. But from here, we're now going to tap down and come back up again. We're going to swap legs. So the left leg and the right leg. So breathing out and in. Breathing out and back in. Breathing out. Now if you're starting to feel your back really arching and it's uncomfortable, that might just mean that you can't quite hold that position with your tummy. So just drop back into that level 1 for a few repetitions, and then you can try again. We're just going to go with 1 more on each leg. That's great, well done. We're in 1 leg at a time to come back into our rest position. Now we're going to see if we can move our arms separately from our legs now. Still with our scissors, but this time we're going to bring that right leg up and we're going to do our 100 arms. So just pulsing the arms gently by the sides, making sure that we're keeping those shoulder blades resting against the floor. And we're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just keeping that nice rhythm. And then we're going to lower the right leg, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then lift it up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lift, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower, and lift, and lower, and lift, and last one, and lift, and lower. Good, just let the arms come to rest down by your sides. And that's a little bit like trying to rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time. I hope you're getting on all right with it though. So again, we're going to float up the left leg, bring it up. Let's get the arms moving first again. So we're pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 3, 4, 5, and lower the leg. 3, 4, 5, and lift. 3, 4, 5, and lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, lift. 4, 5, and lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, lift. 3, 4, 5, lower. 3, 4, 5, last one, and lower. 3, 4, 5. Well done. Okay, give your arms a rest. Let's just do some nice gentle hip twists. We'll go with the level 2 just to loosen off those shoulders a little bit. They've got a little bit tight, so we're going to keep the knees and the feet together. We're going to take the arms out to the sides. We're going to roll our knees over towards the left. Feeling that nice stretch, knees staying on top of each other and rolling back and over to the other side. So imagine you've got that pound coin between your knees and you don't want to drop it. So taking the knees to the left, taking the head to the right. Breathe in to hold that stretch and then breathe out. And turn the head in the opposite direction. Breathe in to hold the stretch and breathing out as we go the other way. So nice and relaxed movement. Breathing in, breathe out to move all the way across. Breathe in to hold. Keep those shoulder blades against the mat. Breathing in to hold. Lovely stretch. Over to the other side. Breathing in to hold. Last time, breathing in as we hold. And breathing out as we come back to the middle. Good. Okay. So now we're just going to turn over onto our tummies. And we're going to just try our swan dive, level 2. So what we want to do is just to be resting on our forearms. I want you to make a diamond with your fingers so that you're looking straight down at the diamond. Okay. And you want to have a feeling that your shoulder blades are still melting into your rib cage, so you don't want to sink down into this position. You just want to be lifting up a little bit through your breastbone. You're going to imagine that you've got a third eye on your forehead and it's staying looking down at the little diamond. If it feels a little bit tight in your back, just grab your head block or a small cushion, just pop it underneath your hips. And in fact, it might feel like it then just takes the pressure off your lower back a little bit. Okay, so from here, lifting through the breastbone, keeping that third eye looking down at the diamond, we're going to now lift the head by lifting from the base of the neck. So we're just coming up and then letting ourselves relax back down again. So lifting the breastbone away from the floor and then walking the neck up from the base of the neck. So that third eye is still looking down. This is great for getting those deep neck flexor muscles working. They're the ones that we don't tend to work very much because we spend the whole time sitting with our chins poking out. So again, we're lifting up through the breastbone, breathing out. It might feel quite tight as your head comes up. And then breathing in. So breathing out. And breathing in. So just lifting up through the breastbone. and lifting through from the base of the neck. Lovely. Okay, one more time. That's good. Might feel quite tight in the upper back, and that's quite normal because we need to extend from here in order to get the full movement of our neck. So we're just going to come up onto our all fours, come round and round to the other side, because we want to do our glutes work on the other leg as well. So again, we're just going to pop the head cushion underneath. We're going to come into our clam starting position. So that means we want our knees bent and our feet, hips and back are in a nice straight line as though we're up against the wall. And remember, we want to just lengthen through the waist because we want our hips to be stacked up on top of each other. Imagine we're balancing a glass of wine on the top of our hip, or beer or water if you prefer. We just don't want to spill it. So we're going to float that top leg up and then let it come back down. Good. And again, squeezing up, getting those glutes working. Just making sure that we're not rolling our bodies backwards as we float that leg upwards. That's good. So breathing out and in as we lower. Breathing out and back in. Good. One more. In. Good. This time we're going to lift, hold it there. We're going to stretch out that top leg and we're going to just tap it back. Stretch and tap. Keep that waist nice and long. As you've got that little blueberry underneath your waist. You don't want to squash it. Good. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Not gripping with your head. Using your tummy muscles to hold you there. Let's do 2 more taps. 1, 2. Let that leg come down. Well done. Give that muscle a little bit of a rub again if you want to, or just let the leg drop down. Good. Okay, so we're going to come more into our side kick level 1 position. So we're going to just take the legs backwards now, so our body is in a nice straight line. And the knees are bent back, so we've got about a right angle at the knees. And again, don't sink in at the waist. Just make sure that you're tilting your hip bone towards your knee to create some length. And we're just going to float that top leg up and back down. So remember, we want to feel like the lower leg is resting on a tabletop when we get up there. Don't want the top foot to be higher than the knee, like that. Good, so once more. That's lovely. So now we're going to go into our side kick level 1. So we float up and then we bring that knee forwards, pulling in on those tummy muscles and bring it back. Again, if you need to, you can rest that hand as lightly as you possibly can onto the floor. Good. So you'll feel that you just have to tighten a bit more through your tummy muscles as you're bringing that leg forwards. Just taking it as far as you can without losing the control. Good. Okay, so on the next one, we are going to hold it there, straighten the leg out, and then press it back, pushing the heel backwards. Good. We're going to bend into that start position again with the legs hovering over each other, and then bring it forward, straighten the knee, and then toes up towards you, pushing backwards with your heel. Good. Toes up and stretch back. Good. Always coming back through that start position. That's it. So we're now going to make that more of a smooth motion so that we're doing like a cycling action. Stretch the knee out, press back. Good. Press back. Squeeze those bottom muscles to get your leg to go backwards. Good. Try and keep going. Keep that leg up, moving, keeping that leg parallel to the ground. We're going to do 2 more. Stretch the leg out, push back. Lovely. Knee up, stretch out and push back. Good. Hovering it there and let it come down again. That's good. Give that muscle a little bit of a rub and a stretch. Well done. Good. Okay. So again, we're just going to come up through into our all fours position. Just to give our legs a little bit of a rest. We're going to just make our arms work a little bit for a moment. So we're going to just reach backwards into a plough position with our right arm. Stretching it back, trying to keep everything else nice and still. We want to keep the knees underneath the hips. Good, 1 more on that arm. And then we're going with the other arm. I want you to feel how your shoulder blades are staying just nicely in contact with your rib cage. 1 more. Good. Coming back to the right arm. This time we're going to reach up in front of you without lifting the body. So imagine you've got a tray across your shoulder blades and you don't want to spill the drinks. We're going to sweep that arm around, bring it back down. Swap arms, we're lifting up, keeping that neck nice and long and down. And this one is called the aeroplane. Good. Stretching around, bring it down. Stretching around, bring it down. Good. This is really good if you've got some shoulder problems. Balancing on the one arm is really making those muscles around the shoulder having to control the movement and stability around your shoulder. Good, let's go with 1 more on each arm. Good. Okay, we'll work the triceps a little bit now. So we're going to come up into our plough position and we're just going to bend the elbow and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. We're wanting to keep the collarbones nice and wide. Don't let them come together. 2 more. Brilliant. Good. Okay, and the other arm. So taking the arm backwards, we bend the elbow and straighten. Bend and straighten. Keep those collarbones nice and wide. Don't sink into the position. That's good. And 2 more. Bend, straighten, straighten. Bring it down and then we can come into a nice shell stretch. While you're in this position, just try and take some nice deep breaths. Breathing in and out, feeling your ribs expand. Feel a nice stretch through your arms. That's good. Just try lifting one arm gently up and then the other Just letting your body roll a bit with it. Well, that's good. Okay, and we're just going to come forwards a little bit so that you're resting just onto your forearms. Tuck the toes under and just sit your heels back. Let's give those toes a little bit of a stretch. Sit back. Come forwards onto your forearms. Keep that neck nice and long. So your head's between your hands, and then come back down. Just press through those toes a little bit. And come forwards again. Neck nice and long, head over your hands. And coming back again onto the toes. Good. And we're going to finally walk our hands so that we can come, slide up, and then come up to standing through our roll down. One vertebra at a time. Coming up. Good. I'm just going to get back into the centre of the mat. We're just going to gently rock up and down on our toes. Now we're giving them a nice bit of a stretch. Just gently coming up and down onto the toes. Good. And we're going to step the left leg out. And we're going to lean over to the left so that the right leg stretches out, making sure that your knee is going over your foot. So we're getting a long stretch along the straight leg on the inner thigh, and come back up again. Let's do that again. Stretching across. Good. And coming back. And one more time. Good. And let's swap and go to the opposite side now, so that the knee is travelling over your foot, keeping the body up nice and straight, and get that lovely stretch on the inner part of your thigh there. And come back up. And again, slide down, feel the stretch. And come back up. We'll do one more. Good. And come back up. And just bring your feet so that they're underneath your shoulders. We're going to just float our arms up above our heads. Bring your hands down onto the top of the head. We're going to come into a little corkscrew movement, shrugging the shoulders up, letting the shoulders drop down, reaching the arms up, back on top of the head. So breathing in and out, breathing in and out, breathing in and out, in and out. Just nice and gently, just loosening everything back off again. Last one. Let the arms come back down by your sides. And let's do some big circles with one arm. And we're actually going to let the whole body move with that movement. Good. One more. Let's do the other arm. Circling round. Letting the body come through as well. Don't worry if you hear a few clicks and cracks with your shoulders. That's quite normal. I don't mind you. One more. Good. And then we're just going to do a gentle knee bend so we can feel a little bit of the stretch at the back of the calves there. you. The legs a little bit of a shake out. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shake as well. Well done, that's today's class. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next class. Have a good week.